Fred here, welcome back to the Gear Obsession channel. In this episode, we'll be taking a look at the CRKT Graphite. This knife is a collaboration between the great knife designer Glenn Klecker and CRKT, so you get the benefit of having a designer knife with the price tag of a production knife, in this case being CRKT. Glenn Klecker is a mechanical engineer, and you will see that as we take a close look at the intricate work and design and engineering that went into this handle that incorporates a lock system called the Klecker lock. It's really cool, trust me. That's the reason why I bought this. It's just different than everything else. By the way, thank you for your service, Glenn. He was a captain, or is a captain, or retired captain in the U.S. Marine Corps and did serve in Desert Storm, so thank you for your service. This knife is available on Amazon. I'm going to provide two links right below in the description box, one for the plain edge and one for the serrated version. They run approximately about $40. This knife I would classify as a EDC, but also a collector's item. It's just so unique that it's just something that I personally wanted in my collection just because it is so different, so unique. And you know, when I was a kid, at some point when I was growing up, I wanted to be an engineer and I wanted to do great things like this, but I never did. I moved on to other obsessions and things, and I didn't focus too well back then. But anyway, to the knife. The overall size of this knife is 7.5 inches. The closed length, when you fold this up, is 4.44 inches, and the weight is 4.4 ounces. So it's about a mid-weight, not too heavy, not too light. The handle material is 2CR13 Chinese stainless steel with G10 inserts, and you can see that here on both sides. And of course, the designer, being Glenn Klecker, that's how you got the locking system here. It is the Klecker lock. It's really, really cool. Before, you know, I got a little ahead of myself. You have a clip right here. This clip is only, unfortunately, tip down, right-handed only. So let's go to the lock. Let's see if I can sort of show you how that works. You can see how when the blade comes in, the very top here sort of comes down into the groove. Let's see if I could show you that just a little closer, because it's just so freaking cool. Now when I look at this, it's more engineering that meets the eye going on here, because when you look at this knife, your eyes sort of play tricks on you, and you sort of focus on this area right here because of this line that comes up, and you say, hey, there's the pivot point, so when you press here it would pivot. But that is not the case. When you press on here, the actual pivot point of where the back lock kind of, it's sort of like a back lock, comes up out of the blade, it's actually pivoting way down here because there's two cuts. You got the cut in the frame here, and then you have another one here, and it pivots. And to prove it to you, just to prove it, I'm going to go ahead and, okay, you can see when I press here, it's coming up, and you could fold it. I'm going to come down to right here and press it. Nothing. Actually, when you press on top of this knife, anywhere from here to here, you're actually putting more pressure down on this point, which locks this even more. So if you're holding this knife in any way, you're actually contributing to locking it even more. It's an amazing, absolutely amazing design. I'm just giddy about it. I just really like it. By the way, this knife comes with little mini catalog that you get with all the CRKT knives, and you get this box. And I always laugh when I pick up a CRKT box, and the reason why is I'm a big Mad Bad Voodoo fan, and I remember him reviewing a CRKT knife years ago, and Instinctively, he tried to open the box on the side like you would open any other normal box, and he literally just tore the crap out of the box. CRKT boxes open up that way. But I still get a chuckle every time I see a box for some weird reason. So let's go ahead and move on to the blade. You have a Spay Point blade. For those of you who don't know what a Spay Point blade is, it's for castrating animals. Kind of a strange type of blade, but it's of course not just for castration. Actually, it makes a very good slicer, really nice shaped blade. You could use it for cutting, eating, things like that. One unfortunate thing though, well, it's fortunate and unfortunate, you have this guard right here, so it keeps your hand from sliding down, but when you're working on the surface, you can't get the blade down onto the surface over here because of how far this sticks out. So you got to work at the edge of the table and do your cutting. So just keep that in mind if you are interested in purchasing this knife. Now, the blade is just a hair over 3 inches, and it is 0.14 inches thick. It is made of HCR13 MOV Chinese stainless steel. It's the equivalent to AS8 or 440B. It's a mid-grade steel. Nothing to write home about. Not bad, not good. And a lot of people actually say it's pretty good steel. It's hardened to 58 to 60 HRC. You have a satin finish, which I like, which is really good because you don't want a bee-blasted finish on this steel, because then you probably would have a corrosion problem, especially in salty and moist environments. So I'm glad they went with a satin finish, so it's sort of non-reflective, but it's not porous like a bee-blasted. I think they did a good job there. This is hollow grind to about 2/3 up, so you have a little bit of flat area to play with. So if you have one of those clip-on sharpening devices, you do have some area where it can stay straight. Let's talk about ergonomics, because ergonomics is where this knife sort of falls apart a little bit, unfortunately, but it also makes it look good. I love, just all the detail and the way that this knife looks. However, this creates hot spots. So when you're holding this knife with a death grip like this, there are points here and here and here that will dig into your hand if you use it for any length of time while holding it really tight. Now, fortunately for me, when I use knives to cut boxes and everything, I sort of hold it like this anyway, and I don't use the knife for very long, my EDCs. It's more just box opening and things like that. So it's not a problem for me, and every time I pull this out, everybody is just so impressed when they see this and they want to check it out. So really cool. Another thing that they could have done to just improve this a little bit is to just go ahead and bevel these edges, especially the G10 here. It would have made it a whole lot more comfortable. So maybe if version 2 comes out, maybe CRKT can do that. Now to open this, you have the thumb studs right here, and then you have the flipper, which comes down here and turns into your finger guard. I'm going to go ahead and fold this up so you can see that. So here's your flipper, and you just flip it, and it just flies open. Very, very smooth. This is a very smooth knife. Now, the thumb studs, I have a little bit of trouble personally deploying this. I really have to use a little bit of a flip. It takes a little getting used to, just because the knife and the thumb stud starts, I don't know, in further. I don't know. It's just weird for me. You have pivot screws here, so you can easily adjust it. They're not Torx. They appear to be hex screws right there. And let me see, Torx screw construction everywhere else. So if you have to disassemble this, there's lots of grooves and everything in here, so you could expect a lot of dirt and lint and everything to get into this knife, but that's just the fun of it. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to doing some tests that I normally do with most knives, starting out with blade centering. And you can see that the blade is centered pretty good, maybe slightly to your right there, but no problem, no rubbing or anything like that. Blade retention. This is another thing or another area where this knife really excels. Really good retention. And the retention is also done by this built-in lock. It sort of presses down on the inside of the tank of the blade in such a way that you could see when I pull this, you could see that frame lock or the Klecker lock actually come up right there. See that? And it's really good retention. There's no way that this is opening up. Very impressive when you actually try this knife. You'll feel that. Lock up. Let's go ahead and open this up. Now again, I showed you how this locks. Really cool. And lock up, there is no play up or down or side to side. It's very good. Sharpness. Happen to have a piece of paper right here. And it's push cutting. I've just push cut right there. So it is extremely, extremely sharp. Can it shave? Obviously it is shaving very, very well. Now the last test that I do is I have some soft pine here, and I'm just going to stab it into the soft pine. Nothing fancy, along the grain, just to make sure there's no fundamental problems with the heat treatment. I've had one knife actually fail this test, so don't laugh, but you know, some people think I'm crazy doing this. You can see it's in there good. And let's go ahead and check out the point, and it looks like it is perfect. So I have been carrying this knife, and I did sort of put together a couple of pros and cons, or at least the ones that really stand out. Pros, extremely unique design, and lockup is just solid, awesome, and it just looks awesome. It's a engineering precision instrument. I don't know how to put it. I just really like it. Cons, two-handed opening. I have not been able to open this up or close it. I'm sorry. What did I say? I said two-handed opening. Let me correct myself. Obviously, one-handed opening. Two-handed closing. I cannot get this thing to close two-handed because you have to sort of push here, and then there's no way for my finger to be able to notch that blade over. So it's a two-handed trick. If you have a surface, you could like press this button and then just push it against something and fold it. So you need two hands to close this. Also, Hotspots, some sharp edges, you know, where they didn't do beveling very well or didn't do it at all. It would have been nice if they did that. Oh, by the way, you know, I'm sitting here looking at it and I'm like, whoops, forgot to tell you there's a lanyard hole in there, and it's big enough to put 550 cord through there with no problem. Do I recommend this knife? Oh, freaking absolutely. I just love this knife. I love it when there's something different than the old same black tactical knives out there. This is something to show off and appreciate the engineering that went into it. I really like it. I tried to convey this probably way too much, but I like it. So we're looking at $40. Again, I provided the link below. Now let me go ahead and digress a little bit. Again, you can see things are different, and the shots are probably not exactly right. Like I could see my head's too high on the frame, and you're seeing a different background, a monitor here. I'm getting used to the changes that I'm trying to make. I want to have less distractions in the background. In my other videos I would shoot, you would see the monitors and all these other things, and I would get questions about my LCARS, you know, clock tablet and things like that, things that sort of distract to what the videos are about. And I sort of just want to make things better by a level, just sort of improve as I go on with my YouTube channel. So I think this is a step in the right direction. I hope you can bear with me while I just sort of try things out, move things a little bit. But I think this is the look that I'm really going for, to have a monitor right here that I can control. Hopefully maybe I'll use PowerPoint so I can sequence through these a little better right now. And you know, maybe leave a little more room up here so you can see my bald head better. But I think it's good. So I hope my videos improve so I can provide you a better product. Alright, well, thank you very much for joining me here at the Gear Obsession channel. I really do appreciate every friend, viewer, subscriber, and especially you. And I hope you have a great day. Take care. Bye.